Hi, today I want to talk about why I dislike Sony cameras. As you can see here, I actually own a lot of Sony cameras, the FS700R, the A7R3, and the Sony 5000 series. Now I had other ones as well, but I end up selling it off, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But there are two main reasons why I dislike Sony cameras, and let's talk about it right now. Okay, so why is it that I own so many Sony cameras and yet I'm saying that I dislike Sony cameras? Well, there are two main reasons why that is true. In fact, I actually own other cameras from Sony, the A6300, A6500, the A7R for the first version, the A7S2, and I sold those off. And the main reason, number one, is overheating issue. It happened to me also with my older Sony cameras, the NEX series. I had the 5N, the 5T, and so on. They were notorious for overheating. After like 12 minutes of recording, they stopped recording because it will show up in a heating warning, and they just shut off like all of a sudden without warning. Okay, so that's why I said, okay, no, I cannot deal with that. Now for photography, that's a different story, but for video, which most of my, as you can see, most of my work is video, not photography. Although I do want to get into photography, that's why I bought the A7R3. Now I'm very selective on what camera I own. For example, I end up getting the cinema camera, the FS700R, and there's another, the one I'm recording right now is also another FS700 UK. So I have two actually FS700. They're amazing camera. They don't overheat. They can record unlimited. And if you have a special update version, like the R version here, it's a 4K upgraded. You can hook up to a Ultima Shogun. You can record 4K 60. Okay. The A7R3 also doesn't overheat. Well, in my experience anyway, it doesn't overheat. So I end up keeping this two camera. Now the reason why I kept these A5000 series, the A5100 and A5000, that they do overheat, but because it's a vlogging camera, you see the flip up screen, there's not a problem because I do short recording, so 5-10 minutes recording, and so the overheating issue is not a problem. However, I do run across that problem when I do several takes, and it does shut down on its own. And this is why actually recently I purchased GH4, Panasonic GH4, to replace these two, actually this one actually, the A5100 cameras with the Panasonic GH4, and that is a very good camera. Now there is a solution to overheating. What you could do is, I found out that if I hook up, now particularly for the A5000, right, the A5100 and the A5000, normally this overheat after 20 minutes, but if I hook up to a Ultima Shogun, this monitor here, now you can probably hook up to other HMI monitor as well, and it should keep the camera going for an extra 30-40 minutes. So I was able to run this for over an hour and without any issue. There was a warning sign, like the heat warning sign, but it didn't shut itself off. For the A5000, actually got a little bit better. I didn't see any warning sign at all on this camera when hooked up to the Ultima Shogun. I was able to record for over an hour, no issue at all. So that's a work around it. But of course, you know, the Ultima Shogun aren't cheap monitor either. They're quite expensive, so it's no point to get this camera and then end up getting this as well. It's just that I happen to have this monitor, and it you know, it works really good. But you know, I'm replacing that the A5100 with the GH4 anyway. Okay, that's the one issue, is the overheating. The second most important issue with the Sony camera, especially I'm talking about, you know, the NEX series and as well as the A5000. I believe it also happened to the A6000. I'm not sure about the A63 or 6500 because I didn't really observe in detail. But I know recently when I got my Panasonic GH4 and I compare it to the Sony A5000 series, I noticed there was one feature that it was very annoying. It's called noise reduction problem on the video recording. When I was recording, I'll show you right now what it looks like. When you record on the A5000's camera, what happened is Sony software, the recording, the codec, whatever it is, it reduces the noise, very heavy by the way, and it gives the face like this waxy look to it. There's no detail on the skin. It just looks like it's just I had some kind of wax applied to my face. And I know that's due to Sony codec. The way they put on the A5000, they put heavy noise reduction on it. And there's no way to actually get rid of that. It's not stupid or what, eh? Like you can't actually remove that. There's no, in the menu, it doesn't say that you can actually take out noise reduction off or something like that. There's no, it's baked in the codec. Now the weird thing is, the 5100, when you record full HD, has the same megabits as the FS700 series camera when you record in 1080p. Even though they have the same megabits recording, the FS700 actually doesn't have that noise reduction problem. It actually, you can see the detail of my face. There was no noise reduction applied to it. At least a very minimal if it did apply some of it. It's obvious when I compare these two cameras together. I noticed that the A5000's the series camera, yeah, there's a noise. Now for YouTube videos, I guess that doesn't really matter, right? Nobody really care when you do, like, for example, talking head like this, just general videos, 1080p. But when you're doing short films, yeah, that can be a problem. So I would definitely not use the A5000 and the early version like A6000 or the NEX to do video short films. Okay, it just, that noise reduction cannot be turned off, and it's annoying. It's mixed. It looks like the film. It looked like the film has been heavily graded, or some noise reduction applied to it. It does not look natural at all. So those are the two main reasons why I dislike Sony cameras. Now I didn't actually move away from Sony cameras because one thing about Sony cameras is that I have a lot of lens in the Sony system, so this is hard for me to change. And on top of that, I love my FS700R and my A7R3. So these two cameras is a blessing to have, and I have no problem with them. However, the other type of camera, you might have to experiment that on your own, has that overheating issue and the heavy noise reduction codec that they bake into the recording, and there's, I don't know, in the newer version can be turned off, but on these older model it cannot be. And so yeah, so think about that. Hopefully when you do get the newer Sony camera, this doesn't happen. But I know somebody were reporting that the A7 III overheats if you record a 4K for more than an hour over 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the A6400, I heard that some people were having overheating issue as well. So even the newer camera has a problem. So just be aware of that. You might want to look at different videos on YouTube, see if anybody ever come across that. But from my experience, the cinema cameras, the FS series, the FS700 and the A7R3, I have no issue with that so far, so it's been good to me. That's why I kept these two cameras. And of course, I'm trying to move away from the A5000s, but because I have the Atomo Shogun, I'm not in a rush of replacing it. I will actually, like I said, I will eventually replace the 5100 with my GH4. Okay, so you'll see a lot of GH4 video in run and gun scenario when I'm filming. So in the future you might see some of the video using Panasonic GH4. All right, thanks for watching EducateTube.com.